Guys, it's Alex from PSYCHONAUT Visions signing in here today. I got 3 things that I want to mention before I start this whole video. Number 1, I love you guys. I love this channel. I love making videos for people to listen to, and even if you haven't watched any video, which I definitely don't expect you to, and even if you're a subscriber that isn't even listening to this video or never listens to it, it doesn't matter, because at some point or another, anybody that's watched our videos and enjoyed them and has given positive feedback, or even just hit the like button or just viewed them just to view them, is somebody that can't be taken for granted. Number 2, I just moved into this new house, and that's the reason why this video is titled Renewal, because everything feels new and there's a lot of things going on in my life. And as we know, it's springtime, and springtime is the season of renewal and moving forward and moving on from the past. Just looking forward to the future and the long days of celebration in the summer. So I'm gonna tour my house around, and I want you guys to see it firsthand on my account, the way I see it. Number 3, I'm going to reflect on my life right now, and I'm gonna give an honest account of how I feel about everything. And I'm not gonna be able to talk about every single detail that I want to talk about, but I'll mention as much as I can of what I've been thinking recently about my life and what's been going on, and how I feel about my relationship with everybody in my life and how things are going, because I feel like relationships are a huge key theme to my life, and I feel like that goes for anybody, because everybody needs some type of support. So anyway, let's get started. What's up, y'all? It's Alex here, recording this part of the video 5 days later. And I was just outside smoking weed anyways. And I was thinking in my thoughts, like you do when you smoke weed, and I'm alone, and just thinking about how today at work I didn't feel as much anxiety as I do other days. And I started becoming aware of my thinking patterns of when I latch onto a thought of anxiety, like social anxiety to begin with. Like sometimes I feel afraid of what to do in a situation where everybody's watching. Like I just feel frozen, stuck when there's more than like a few people around a work event. Like, think of it like meetings, having a work meeting, and you are having a hard time just finding a space to speak and to be able to speak confidently. That's how I feel. Like, I don't feel confident about my abilities when there's multiple people watching. And just a little update, I don't really talk about my job on this channel much, but I basically work in a mental health facility for people with predominantly schizophrenia. And it's not a lot facility, so we're not like literally like keeping them from leaving the building. It's actually like an independent living facility, but like these people are still in a mental health facility, so they're not really doing that great if they're there. And my job is to help all of them take their meds, but in the downtime be able to develop more intimate relationships with them so that they can heal and just experience support, because that's what they need. A lot of them, like, everybody needs support. And I was becoming aware of like this thought, like there's like this plane going by where I live, and it was just so loud that I was thinking like, oh my God, what if this is like a doomsday plane? Like the fucking military is signaling to us that Russia is gonna release a nuclear bomb. And I know that that's like a far out ass thought, but like I still think like that's a thought that could cause you anxiety, right? Just thinking like, oh, what if this crazy shit was happening? And mostly I've been present today. There's other days where I don't feel present. I'm latching on to an anxious thought, and like I get like I get hot flashes with my anxiety. I feel like it's something that happens more often now. Like I just get these hot flashes and I sweat if I'm experiencing too much anxiety. I just feel like my emotions are like dysregulated almost, and I'm like just worrying too much, and I'm like freezing in any little situation. And I just latch onto it and I become almost obsessive. And I don't become like overly obsessive. It's just like I become obsessive of it in the moment of these thoughts that I latch my anxiety over. And maybe I'll be focused on it, hyper focused on it for like an hour. So I'm not focused on something for too long. Like last week, for example, I had like this pulsing feeling in my head, like this tense feeling in my head. I thought like, oh my God, what if I have brain cancer? Like, what if I have a brain tumor? Like, bro, sometimes I think too deep and I latch onto something that's not as deep as it really is. And I think like, what if I had the worst possible thing going on? I don't know if that's normal at all. I don't know if that makes me a hypochondriac. I mean, I wasn't stressing about it that much, but I do feel like I was stressing about it more than I should have. And I was thinking about an hour ago while I was smoking weed about my bike that was stolen. Now, I don't know if I mentioned this at all, but my bike got stolen out of my garage a few months ago, along with my brother's bike and a project bike that I was working on for my girlfriend. And like I spent a lot of money on this shit, you know? So I was like pretty upset about it, understandably, getting these stolen right out of the garage. It was technically my fault because I left the garage door open, but somebody did steal it. Like I didn't cause them to steal it. But I set myself open for it. And there's nobody else to blame really except for myself. And like I was just like pissed about it. I'm still like kind of sad about it, like a little salty, because I do miss biking, but I do think that everything happens for a reason. Like there's this grand scheme to the universe, and like I'm in absolutely no control over my destiny. Like these bikes getting stolen, all these events, including that event, was meant to happen. And that's what has led me down this trajectory of a life path. Those bikes getting stolen, I would say, has affected me more than I thought it would, positively. To clarify, it's affected me in a way where I become more passionate about hiking. And my brother and I have shared this passion for hiking, and I'm doing like 2 hikes a week. And I'm training at the gym with my brother, and we're doing like leg day, and we're doing chest and triceps and all these different muscle groups that you can imagine. Our motivation is hiking. I love leg day now because I'm motivated for hiking. I'm motivated to hike fast, hike hard, hike long. I've just started to fall in love with hiking like strenuous trails because the difficult terrain, it's like you're playing a game against this mountain. Like each step you take, you're playing a game, especially when you're going downhill, because each step you're risking a fall that could like easily just start making you bleed or something. But I also just love how it feels physically. And to me, pushing myself physically while being out in nature and still enjoying the nature aspect, it just makes me feel spiritually grounded. Something so primal, such as going hiking in the mountains, is somehow just so spiritually rewarding. I just summited this mountain, Mount Diablo, we call it, around where I live. And this mountain is like the tallest peak surrounding the Bay Area. It's 3,800 feet. I summited it with my brother on Saturday, and it was just like a great experience for me. I loved it. I think he had a harder time because he wasn't able to keep up at a pace that I wanted to go at. But nevertheless, we still both enjoy it together. Like it just felt like a journey. Like I was going on this trip, and I had this destination. I had to make my way to the top. And in a way, that's what I've been wanting to do recently. It's just make my way up and try to build myself. And there's, obviously there's a lot more that I could do that I don't do. I think that goes for all of us. I mean, I'm not going to speak on. Sorry about the dogs. I'm not going to speak on anybody's behalf, but at least for me personally, I just feel like I could do more with my life, especially financially. And that's why I haven't bought a new bike yet, because I've gone so into hiking that I haven't needed to buy a new bike yet because I'm dedicated enough to hiking. Now, I still think about a bike. I'll buy it eventually down the road because biking will honestly just be a great exercise to train for hiking when I don't want to take the impact. So I'm looking forward to when I can, but right now I've just saved over $1,000, and I just feel like I need to save more. Like I need a baseline of at least $2,000. And just for some backstory, I had over $8,000 last year, but it all went away. I spent it all. A large chunk of that was spending $7,000 on my car for a down payment. I own this Subaru Impreza. I take it up to the snow because it has all-wheel drive. It's a nice car, but it's expensive for me. At least it was expensive. I'm still having to pay a loan each month of $186. It's not bad. I could easily save more money if I didn't spend it all on food, gifts, and other shit. And I mean gifts for myself. Like, I love gifting myself, but I was doing it too much. Like, I was like having this compulsive desire to buy a bunch of hiking pants. But you know what? Those hiking pants have actually been worth it because I wear them all the time now. But that's where all my money went. And a bike, I know, will cost money. And I think I just need to start saving, bro. Like, I live with my mom and my brother now. And my mom pays for the groceries pretty much. And my mom pays for the mortgage of this house. And I haven't saved shit, bro. Like, there should be no excuse for me to not be able to save anything. Because I better be taking advantage of this now while I have it, because I don't have to pay for shit. So I'm really going to start limiting all my payments except for like my loan payment. But other than that, I don't really have to pay much else. So yeah, renewal. A brand new sense of me moving over here and trying to become used to this being my new home. Because it's been almost 3 weeks now since we moved. It feels good to live here. As you can see, it's beautiful with the trees and the hills. It's always windy, but it always feels nice. And it's the springtime. Looking forward to something more, something new, moving on to something greater. I think every one of us has the potential to do that. It's just a matter of realizing that potential and finding a way to integrate it. And I haven't completely found a way to integrate my potential into other aspects of my life. But I'm still young, and the one way I can increase that potential is by focusing on my finances and becoming independent as an adult and saving money to move out of here. Like, I don't want to live with my mom forever. As much as I love living here rent free, it's not going to be like that forever. I don't know, man. I think that's all I gotta say. I don't need to go any further with this video. I hope you enjoyed. If you listen to me talk this whole time, love you. All right, Alex from PSYCHONAUT Visions signing out.